I've seen situations where someone was absolutely clear about what they wanted for their funeral. They wrote it in their will, made their wishes known, and yet, when the time came, something completely different happened, and understandably, that can be quite upsetting for families. So the key question is, if you put your funeral wishes in your will, does your family actually have to follow them? Because legally, the answer often surprises people. This video is part of a series where I explain probate and estate matters in a clear, practical way. So if you're dealing with this at the moment, you may find the rest of the series helpful. The legal position is this: funeral wishes in a will are not legally binding. They are treated as guidance. Now, in many cases, families will follow them, but legally they are not required to. And the reason for this is actually quite practical. In most situations, the funeral needs to be arranged fairly quickly, but the will is often not located or formally reviewed until later. So even if the wishes are written down, they may not be seen in time. And that's one of the main reasons they aren't legally binding. Legally, the person responsible for arranging the funeral is usually the executor. They have the authority to make decisions about the arrangements. They should take into account the wishes of the person who has died, but they are not strictly bound by them. In practice, most families do try to follow what the person wanted, but there are situations where things don't go exactly as planned. That might be because the wishes weren't known in time, there are different views within the family, or practical or financial factors come into play. I've seen situations where someone clearly set out their wishes in their will, but the family didn't know about them at the time, so decisions were made quickly based on what they thought was right, and later, when the will was read, it led to disagreement and upset. Not because anyone acted badly, but because the information wasn't available when it was needed. Some of the most common areas where differences arise include burial versus cremation, religious versus non-religious services, and even the location or scale of the funeral. These decisions can be quite personal and sometimes sensitive. Cost and practicality also play a role. Funeral expenses are usually paid from the estate, but they still need to be reasonable, so if a particular wish is complex or expensive, that can affect what actually happens. So, if someone wants their wishes to be followed, the most effective approach is communication. That means telling family members directly, writing wishes down clearly, and keeping that information easy to find. Relying on a will alone is often not enough. This is also an area where disputes can arise quite easily because emotions are understandably high and people may have different views. Clear communication during lifetime can make a significant difference here. So the key takeaway is this: funeral wishes in a will are not legally binding. The executor has responsibility for the arrangements, and the best way to ensure your wishes are followed is to communicate them clearly during your lifetime. If you're dealing with an estate at the moment, having a clear structure really helps. I've put together a free executor's checklist that walks through what needs to happen step by step. You can download it using the link in the description. And if you'd like clear, practical explanations of probate in England and Wales, feel free to subscribe.